It's just another everyday thing. You put your helmet on, you're in control of what's going on. And I think as a owner, you're not in control,
yeah,
right?
100%.
You're sending them out and you're going,
As your uncle, I want you to know that on the road to life, there will be rough spots, and they will chew up your tires. I recently took a road trip to Greensville to attend a chili cook-off. Rough roads all the way down. I drove there on these Cooper Discoverer and Duramax tires. You know, they're made with the durability of off-road tires, but for on-road driving. Without them, we might never know the winning bean-to-meat ratio of a good chili. And those are the things in life, my friend, worth driving towards. So go with the Coopers. Cooper! I'm hungry now.
At Topcon, we know a thing or two about a smooth surface. Roads and highways, piece of cake. Airports, let's just say it'll be the smoothest landing you've ever had. But what about when you want to go fast? Real fast? No, faster. We've helped cars go faster than they've ever gone before. Broken a few lap records along the way. Want the best paving performance? Go to the source. Topcon, always one step ahead.
Karting and motorsport enthusiasts, Lucas Oil School of Racing is America's #1 Formula Car race school. Enjoy modern paddle shifters, pit speed limiter, and onboard video along with integrated data systems. Get started today with our 2-day basic or advanced course. Lucas Oil School of Racing is the official school of the road to Indy. We can also qualify you for your SCCA license. Get started today by visiting us at www.lucasraceschool.com.
Championship so close you can taste it.
Oliver Askew has won the Freedom 100.
Side by side. And your new champion, Rasmussen.
Good morning, race fans, and welcome to Road to Indy TV Live. I'm the host, Parker Thompson, and today we have a very exciting guest to get us kicked off at Barber Motorsports Park this morning, Jay Howard of Jay Howard Driver Development. Jay, thanks for coming on the show.
yeah, pleasure.
So let's run through a couple quick facts here. Number one, you're the only team owner with all 3 levels on the road to Indy, which is impressive in its own, but if it wasn't just that, you've got pole position with Christian Rasmussen coming up here, race 2 this afternoon. What are your thoughts going into that race?
Nervous, as always. You know, we chatted a little bit about that earlier today, and just, you know, confident in him, confident in the team, the package. I think proved that in the last race. He was, you know, 4 or 5 tenths quicker than everyone else, which is, you know, you really try and enjoy those days when everything's going that well. So we had a cut tire, which didn't quite go to plan for us, but we're hoping, starting from pole today, he can get out front, out of trouble, and yeah, fingers crossed nothing goes wrong, and can get his first win of the year.
For sure. When we go through Christian Rasmussen's career, you know, I have to think it's funny. We did talk off air, is what it's like to be a team owner versus a driver. You've been with Christian for 4 years. What has that development been like?
It's been fun, first and foremost. I mean, when he first came here from Denmark, you know, it was very clear the kid had talent. There was no, you know, just raw pace.
Yes.
And to be honest, it's been working around all the other little details to become what we call a complete driver. You know, someone that can win a championship. Because as we all know, there's a lot more to just driving fast. So it's been good. You know, he's, yeah, we've got a few drivers now, Bogle, with Wyatt, with Christian. They've all been on board with us now for 4 years, and they're almost like my boys.
For sure.
You know, it's really, really good relationship with them, and do anything for them. And yeah, that's part of what drives me every day to be better and just wanting more every day.
Well, and I can definitely see that family aspect within J. Howard Racing. To give the viewers a little insight, what was it now, 9 or 10 years ago, it was the Robo-Pong held at Newcastle.
Yeah.
I didn't have a place to stay, and Jay and his family brought me in and let me stay for a night. So Jay is definitely he's definitely family towards his drivers. Let's talk about Christian Bogle. And if we talk about Bogle, we've got to talk about this partnership with Carlin, which brings you the third step and the third ladder on the road to Indy.
Yep.
So talk about Indy Lights for us.
Yeah, sure. So we got a couple of lights cars, whatever it was now, 2 years ago, with the intent to run lights last year. And so we ended up just really testing, using it as a test platform for all of our guys. Rasmussen, B-Joy Garg, Bogle, all these guys got to do a little bit of testing. And as we rolled into 2021, Indy Lights getting going again, I really wanted to make sure we had a strong program. So I talked to Trevor Carlin, who's arguably got the best open wheel program in the world. And said, look, I need your help, and I think partnering up makes sense. And cut a long story short, we got the program off the ground and got Carlin back in the paddock, which is good for everyone, and it's been great.
Well, and I think it's, without saying this, without overstepping, but I think it's huge. I mean, really, you look at Carlin back in the Road to Indy paddock. They were one of the most anticipated teams when they came here in 2016, and now to have them back full time, I think is fantastic. Obviously, with your help, what is it like working with Trevor?
It's great. Yeah, known Trevor for a long time. This is the first time we've really worked closely together.
Right.
But great group of guys. Extremely professional. They do it right, and just enjoyed every minute working with them. So we'll try and make this a long-term thing, and keep the Carlin boys around, and just continue to kind of grow our program, and just enhance everything.
No, that's fantastic. And I look at, let's talk about Christian Bogle for a minute, because like you said, how long have you been with Christian? It's been over 4 or 5 years as well.
About 4 years now.
Yeah.
It's and talk about a transformation, and just how good racing is for, I say kids, but good for kids in general, right? Because he walked through our shop door. I never forget. We had email and phone call conversations. I want to do Formula 4. Okay, no problem. Let's come to the shop, get you fitted. He walked through the door, 6'4", 286 pounds. I'm like, you look like a lineman, not a racing driver, And so, anyway, we got him fitted to the car, and he gradually started losing weight, started training, building his confidence, and he just got better and better and better. And it's been just so much fun seeing him change as from a personal side of things, and then developing on the racing side. He literally 4 years ago never drove a go-kart,
right?
Anything, and I think his first race, he was 15 seconds off the pace. I mean, pretty slow, and he just kept chipping away, and he's a really good poster child for someone that, if you're dedicated and you work hard at it and just keep plugging away. And he's shown, never in a million years would I have thought, a year and a half in, he would win a race in F4. That's pretty crazy. So now, see him in Indy Lights. This is a learning year for him. Put him with Peroni, who's obviously a very, very good driver. And so he'll treat this year as learning, and then come back next year with the hope to, compete, getting that top 5.
Well, I have to say, Jay, it looked like he belonged out there yesterday. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, he beat Nikita Listoshkin after a long battle there.
Yeah.
He held him off, which Nikita, long time. I mean, he's a podium finisher on the road to Indy, right? In Indy Pro.
He had a battle with Kirkwood. I think Kirkwood took 4 laps or something to get by him, and so that was a big confidence booster for him. Just to feel
like he belonged.
Yeah. Not like, maybe I don't belong here. So. Really happy for him.
Oh, that's fantastic. Obviously, we got a race coming up.
Yes.
What do you take Christian through? And obviously, you've got Wyatt Brickachek that we can't forget about, starting 5th place in race 2 here at Indy Pro. What do you take your drivers through? When I went to come get you for the interview, everything was so calm. That is one of the calmest I've seen a race team before before a pre-race. And you were available to come for the interview, which most team owners are, they're worried about putting some fire out before the race, but you were just calm and collected. What do you take them through before they start the race?
For those guys in particular, it's been the same message delivered for 4 years now. So, again, we talk about continuity and being comfortable and knowing the system. I wouldn't say I don't need to say anything, but just walking through the steps of when they get in the car, the parade laps, tire warming procedures, restarts, all of that good stuff, the plan on the first 2 laps, and then how that changes third lap once things settle in, then as the race runs on towards the end, how that changes, and but again, we've been through that a lot with them, and so, biggest thing, just making sure they're confident, feeling good, and, there's a thing as well, I truly believe sometimes people overthink.
Yeah.
There's many times where, we'll do our debriefs, we'll talk about what we're going to do, and then, maybe you're like, oh, well, what about this or what about that? Stop overthinking. Just stay calm. You know what to do. Yeah, let's go do it. And, that's, like I say, I think the biggest thing is, with the rookies in USF 2000, I have to spend a little more time with them.
Right.
Because it's new and everything's new for them.
For sure.
What do we do on a restart? Or when do we go green? There's just a lot of new information for them, and they're new to the program. So, it's like I say, nothing stays the same. Things change constantly, and we have a really, really good group of guys. Work really hard to have good people, and it's knock on wood and all that.
For sure.
Let's have a.
But I think that has to stem, obviously, from your successful IndyCar career. I mean, it wasn't like you were a failed race car driver that turned team owner. You had a very successful career getting paid as a race car driver, and you're just transferring that knowledge on. So it was a pleasure to have you on, Jay. We're going to have to cut to commercial break, but for those of you who don't know Jay Howard, he is the new powerhouse with all 3 rungs on the road to Indy. Thanks, Jay, for coming on. Commercial break.
With over 40 years in business, High Tide Boat Lifts is committed to elevating your craft. Whether you own a personal watercraft or a large yacht, we can design and create the perfect lift for your needs. At High Tide Boat Lifts, we understand that you've worked hard to get to a successful place in life. We'll ensure you have a hassle-free experience, maximizing the time you spend on your boat with family and friends, and supporting your dreams out on the open water.
Karting and motorsport enthusiasts, Lucas Oil School of Racing is America's #1 Formula Car race school. Enjoy modern paddle shifters, pit speed limiter, and onboard video along with integrated data systems. Get started today with our 2-day basic or advanced course. Lucas Oil School of Racing is the official school of the Road to Indy. We can also qualify you for your SCCA license. Get started today by visiting us at www.lucasraceschool.com.
As your uncle, I want you to know that on the road to life, there will be rough spots, and they will chew up your tires. I recently took a road trip to Greensville to attend a chili cook-off. Rough roads all the way down. I drove there on these Cooper Discoverer and Duramax tires. You know, they're made with the durability of off-road tires, but for on-road driving. Without them, we might never know the winning bean-to-meat ratio of a good chili. And those are the things in life, my friend, worth driving towards. So go with the Coopers. Cooper! I'm hungry now.
Welcome back to Road to Indy TV Live. I'm the host, Parker Thompson, and we're joined by, you're probably getting pretty familiar to his voice, Rob Howden of the Road to Indy. Rob, we've got an exciting race 2 coming up, another flip-flop of the grid.
Yeah. First and foremost, for me, it's a gorgeous day. You know, this is interesting. It's a beautiful blue sky. We're going to have sunny, probably maybe 70, 72 degrees. I think it'll be great. You're right. The best thing about today is we've got another new guy up front, and really it is the opportunity for Christian Rasmussen from J. Howard Driver Development, last year's USF 2000 champion. This is his day starting from pole. What has he got? Can he challenge for a championship coming out of the gate?
Yeah, I mean, Christian Rasmussen, tough day yesterday, so he's going to be chomping at the bit to really make it count today.
Yeah, indeed. And think about that. Look at the guys behind him. He's got a race winner, Hunter McElroy, beside him on the front row. He's got yesterday's winner, Braden Eves, right behind him. There's a lot of guys ready to challenge. Reese Gold will be on the outside of row number 2. But for Christian Rasmussen, this is really the opportunity. If he gets that good start and can get a little bit of a gap early, he's going to have 2 hungry lions behind him.
Well, and it's interesting. I don't like to talk championship in first race, but I have to say it was a bit of a blow for him yesterday to get that cut tire when he was battling hard for second. You know, he was in a great spot. I heard a suspension failure in qualifying was actually what brought him to a halt in qualifying 1.
Yep.
So he didn't start great in qualifying 1. I believe it was just about on the outskirts of the top 10. Makes his way up to second. I'm thinking that's pretty good at Barber Motorsports Park to sit back, relax, enjoy the flight. But he goes out, he's battling hard for second. He cuts a tire, battling with another competitor, ends up with almost a DNF.
Yeah.
He did set the fastest lap at the end of the race, which is always good for confidence. But you've got to think, after watching his USF 2000 championship last year, I thought he would have matured just a little bit more coming into this second championship.
Well, you know, maturity is one thing because you almost press the reset button on the maturity when you go up a level, right? Yeah, you matured as a driver a couple of years in USF 2000, but when you come up against everybody else that's been in Indy Pro for a couple of years or 1 or 2 years, right? Then you're like, man, these guys have got to jump on me. I'm the rookie guy coming in. I'm still the freshman in this class, even though I was the senior in the class I just ran in. So mindset-wise, that's why that first win is always so crucial. I think if Christian can win today, all of a sudden he's proven to himself that he can win here at this level.
Well, and we know what wins can do for drivers on the road to Indy, and I have to agree that just because you've won a race in USF 2000, it all resets when you get to Indy Pro.
Yeah.
And it's funny how a driver has doubted himself again, right? Because you move up a level. Now you're with a bunch of guys that you haven't raced against, right? You kind of move up a school class.
I was just going to say, think of it like school. You're a middle schooler, right? You're a public school kid.
Yep.
You're the big gun.
Yeah.
Top dog at public school. You move up to middle school, and all of a sudden you're the freshman again. And then you feel great once you get to the end of middle school, and then you go to high school, and all of a sudden you're in the first year again, and you're that rookie, you're that freshman. So every year you want to kind of see if you can't carry over a little bit of confidence, but it's a brand new race car, as we said. A lot more horsepower, a lot more of everything from USF 2000 to Indy Pro 2000. And again, Christian Rasmussen on the pole. That's going to start just yesterday or Friday when we had the qualifying. That alone had to give him a lot of confidence.
100%. And I think, when we talk about confidence, we have to talk about, we just had Jay Howard on of Jay Howard Driver Development. That continuity, staying with the same team. The one thing I will say, though, for the fans at home, they've brought in Bryn Natal as the lead engineer over there for their Indy Pro 2000 effort. Bryn raced with HMD Motorsports, I believe, in 2018. He was very quick at Barber Motorsports Park. He was very quick at a few places with his Indy Pro setup.
Yep.
So that's obviously got to carry over for momentum for that team.
Well, Bryn's got a lot of experience in karting and then has really kind of really melded into the open wheel world. Like you said, he has his own team, BN Racing, as well, but they're going to be testing some drivers this year. Not here on race weekend, so you know what? He ends up hooking up with Jay Howard Driver Development, and you're right. He's kind of got things dialed in. He's helped kind of steer that team a little bit for Jay, and yeah, I'll tell you, being as fast as they were in qualifying and then turning that into a fast lap yesterday, as you said, man, they've got to have the confidence saying all we got to do is get through 1, 2, and 3.
Well, and if we're doubting how good the car is, not taking anything away from Christian Rasmussen, but let's talk about Wyatt Brikacek.
Yeah.
All of a sudden up there in P5, I mean, spring training, he topped almost the entire first day. He's in the hunt.
Yeah, Wyatt Brikacek, a driver in USF 2000 last year, was kind of that middle pack guy, just outside the top 10, learning the tracks, learning the road to Indy. I feel like it may be a little more comfortable with this particular race car. And some drivers will have more comfort with more cars. This one you can really wheel around a little more than maybe the USF 2000, which is more of a momentum car. There's a little more power there for that. You've driven all of them. You understand. So Wyatt is looking pretty good. And for him to, I think he's P5 or P6 for the start of this race, man, it's going to be – he's in deep water, right? Let's see what he does at the start of this race.
Yeah. So let's talk, obviously, one of the big changes from 2020 to 2021. Obviously, we have Indy Lights back. There's been some changes to the championship.
Yep.
What about the fans, Rob?
I like this a lot. We've had a chance to do a couple of Q&A sessions over the Cooper Tire stage. There's been a bunch of people there just to see the fans milling around. And in the cool-down lap of the Indy Lights race, after the victory there for Linus Lundqvist, the fans were out there cheering, and that just changes the vibe of everybody here at the racetrack.
Well, and Barber Motorsports Park, commonly dubbed as the Augusta National of motorsports for here in North America. But when we talk about Barber Motorsports Park, it's almost built in a bowl. And really,
and indeed it is, yeah.
There's no grandstands. It's just fans all over the grassy hills everywhere. When we go through the back straight there on turn 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
yep.
It's a wooded area.
And they're all up in the trees.
And they're all in the trees.
That's right, yeah.
It's one of the coolest places to watch a race.
And then
from.
turns 1, 2, and 3, the Alabama roller coasters. There's a huge, essentially natural grandstand. The hill, like you said, people have their easy ups popped up here ready to go. And the great thing is, they were here when I rolled into the racetrack this morning at 7:45. They were already kind of setting up everything, getting ready to go. That's the beauty of this right now. They love the racing here, and it's a sellout crowd. 25,000 people is the tickets they allotted with COVID, just to kind of lock things down a bit. I think it could hold 50 grand, but they sold out all 25,000 tickets. That's awesome.
That's fantastic. Well, let's. Why don't we cut to? I went and talked to a few of the fans this weekend, and I think it would be great to give the Road to Indy fans at home a little taste of what it's like at the racetrack. I could not be more excited that Barber Motorsports Park is back on the calendar for the Road to Indy. The Alabama fans are some of the most dedicated. Let's go speak to some of the season pass holders here at Barber Motorsports Park. We are down here at the bottom of turn 3, where you can only get in if you have a season pass. Some of the most dedicated Barber Motorsports fans come down here to hang out, have a good time. Let's see if we can get one on camera. This looks to be Ant-Man. Only the most dedicated fans have a helmet on. Let's see if he has anything to say. Silent. These Alabama fans get crazy for a good view. How's it hanging, sweetheart? Wow, my arms are tired. She's a talker. Legend has it here at Barber Motorsports Park that one of these Alabama fans had such a good time at an IndyCar race that they got lost forever. One too many wobbly pops, and all of a sudden, they're a lifetime pass holder. Jack, how are you? These Alabama fans are nuts. They won't even miss a workout for the race. Good game, fella. My friend with the good hair back in turn 9 was telling me about a super fan on the outside of turn 14, but I can't seem to find him. Either way, we've met a ton of dedicated pass holders here at Barber Motorsports Park, and we found out how beautiful Alabama truly is. Let's cut back to some of the racing action. Well, Rob, all jokes aside, Mr. Barber does have a lot of art here around Barber Motorsports Park. It's a pretty gorgeous racetrack.
It's an interesting place, right? The minute you kind of roll in here, it's a long, winding road that comes into Barber Motorsports Park, and that's all the grass, the trees, the museum's right there. And as you go around, all the artwork, of course, Charlotte's Web, the big spider on the outside of turn number 5. This place is just so magical, and all the stuff they've had, just a little bit of stuff that you got a chance to see. It's so interesting.
Well, and if you come to Barber Motorsports Park, you visit the museum, you'll get a free pamphlet.
Yeah.
And they actually have a scavenger hunt on the pamphlet of all the artwork around the race.
I didn't know that.
Around the racetrack. And there's over 50. Like, to try and choose the art for that segment was a task.
So we keep talking about the racing. You got to look at some of the guys further back. What do you think about Artem Petrov? Second place yesterday to Braden Eves. Anytime you finish, you tell me this, anytime you finish second to your teammate, how much more do you want it the next day?
Oh, it stings. you know that car is, for the most part, that car is set up exactly like yours.
Yeah.
Or very similar, maybe fine-tuned a little bit to your snowflake characteristics, shall I say. But it stings, and especially Artem coming back, he's a second-year driver too.
Yeah.
It's not like he's a rookie playing second fiddle and learning from his teammate. I read his press release. He made it very clear that he had a vendetta to another team in the paddock, and he made it very clear that he was not here to play second fiddle to Braden Eves. He almost called Braden Eves out in the press release.
I like that, though. I like the inter-team rivalry, right? Because let's be real. Number one, you want to win the race, but number two, you want to beat your teammate, right? That's a victory in and of itself.
100% a victory in itself. And I have to say, it's, you know, the one thing I'll mention, when he came across the line in second, he put his hand up, which, you know, I think he's got to play the team game right now. He's got to support the team. Exclusive Autosports first ever 1-2.
Yeah, indeed.
Which
yeah.
It doesn't matter where you finish. If you finish on a 1-2 for a team, that is a win. But I think we're going to see a pretty aggressive Artem.
And I think for Artem Petrov as well, you move from, he was with Juncos Racing last year, moves over this year here to Exclusive Autosport. And to get that 1-2 for the team out of the gate right now, that kind of, you know, proves to him that they made the right decision coming into Exclusive, right? They decided to come over to a different team. And, man, yeah, we've got the speed. Yeah, Braden got the jump on me. He was on pole. I played the teammate. He went side by side actually at one point, coming into turn 5 early in the race. I thought, here we go. This is Michael Duncap's been pulling his hair out right now, but checked back in and held the spot for that 1-2. But yeah, he's going to want to see if he can't get a jump. I don't think they start right behind each other. I want to say Artem's over on the other side of the track, so that could change things the way they come through 1, 2, and 3. I just like the fact that they're going to have a good rivalry. They seem to be very kosher with each other, kind of having some fun. They're both little kind of quirky guys, you know. Artem from Russia, there's obviously the Russian sensibilities. Then you've got the American Braden Eves, who's a bit quirky himself, and as many race car drivers are. I like the dynamic, and I think they're going to battle it out all year.
Well, and I think teammates always play nice at the first race. But when we get to St. Pete,
that's true.
The gloves slowly start to come off.
I like that.
Rob, what are your predictions going into this race? I mean, for me, it's a bit of a toss-up. What do you think?
Well, here's my thing. I think that if Christian Rasmussen takes the two things that he's gone, he was able to go P1 in qualifying, right? So that tells him he's got the speed. Then he backs it up with a fast lap, as you said, in race number 1. For me, that tells him I got the speed to do this. All I have to do is get through turn 1, 2, and 3 cleanly and maybe defend a little at 5. If I get out of 5 with the lead, I think I'm going to be good. It's so hard to pass here at Barber Motorsports Park. Drivers always talking about the aero wash. You get up behind someone, you lose that air on the front wing, and guys having that, you know, that entry mid-corner understeer, and you hear a lot of that. The difference in what we saw yesterday in USF 2000, where you had a guy like Yuvan Sundar-Murthy on the pole for the very first time, right? Never won a race before. That plays into your mind. Nolan Siegel was on the pole. He'd been on the pole once before, but he hasn't had a race win. That plays to your mind. Christian Rasmussen knows how to win races. He dominated essentially last year in USF 2000. Other than that little midsection kind of dip, he's got confidence. He knows how to win races. That plays so well to Christian. I just think he's going to be able to get out of the gate. And unless he gets contact from the back, I don't think anyone's going to challenge him.
Couldn't agree more on all accounts, Rob. Let's let the fans take a lap around Barber Motorsports Park before we get ready for Race 2 action in Indy Pro 2000. For the first round of the Road to Indy Championships, we are here at the Augusta National of Motorsports in North America, Barber Motorsports Park. This 2.38-mile, 17-turn road course is easily one of the toughest tracks that the Road to Indy drivers are going to have to face in 2021. We're on the front stretch here, headed down into Turn 1, one of the toughest corners on the track as you dip through Turn 1, hitting the compression at about 120 miles per hour as you go up into Turn 2 and get your run set into one of the only passing opportunities into Turn 5. As we head out of Turn 5, we're headed down into 7, 8, 9. I like to call it tic-tac-toe. As you miss the first curve, you slam the second curve over, up, and into the compression and down through 9. Turn 9 sets your run back into 12 and 13. 12 and 13 are the toughest corners for any race car driver to nail. There is no room for mistake as you drop below 12. You don't see anything up over 13, and you just hope for the best. As you get through turn 14 and 15, you're almost done a lap here at Barber Motorsports Park, but not quite. As you get through turn 17, it sets the run up onto this straightaway, which is one of the most important runs on the track. This track not only sets up great racing for the race car drivers, but it is amazing for the fans. You've got plenty of foliage around the track, lots of art that Mr. Barber's done, and Barber Motorsports Park is known for its fantastic Barber Motorsports Park Museum, which holds many vintage motorcycles and race cars. This is surely set to be one of the best race weekends of the Road to Indy.
As your uncle, I want you to know that on the road of life, there will be rough spots, and they will chew up your tires. I recently took a road trip to Greensville to attend a chili cook-off. Rough roads all the way down. I drove there on these Cooper Discoverer and Duramax tires. You know, they're made with the durability of off-road tires, but for on-road driving. Without them, we might never know the winning bean-to-meat ratio of a good chili. And those are the things in life, my friend, worth driving towards. So go with the Coopers. Cooper! I'm hungry now.
At Topcon, we know a thing or two about a smooth surface. Roads and highways, piece of cake. Airports, let's just say it'll be the smoothest landing you've ever had. But what about when you want to go fast? Real fast? No, faster. We've helped cars go faster than they've ever gone before. Broken a few lap records along the way. Want the best paving performance? Go to the source. Topcon, always one step ahead.
Karting and motorsport enthusiasts, Lucas Oil School of Racing is America's #1 Formula Car race school. Enjoy modern paddle shifters, pit speed limiter, and onboard video along with integrated data systems. Get started today with our 2-day basic or advanced course. Lucas Oil School of Racing is the official school of the road to Indy. We can also qualify you for your SCCA license. Get started today by visiting us at www.lucasraceschool.com.
With over 40 years in business, High Tide Boat Lifts is committed to elevating your craft. Whether you own a personal watercraft or a large yacht, we can design and create the perfect lift for your needs. At High Tide Boat Lifts, we understand that you've worked hard to get to a successful place in life. We'll ensure you have a hassle-free experience, maximizing the time you spend on your boat with family and friends, and supporting your dreams out on the open water.
Welcome back to Barber Motorsports Park as it is race day Sunday here in Alabama, and we are getting set for what should be an action-packed day of wheel-to-wheel racing. My name's Rob Howden, the voice of the Road to Indy, presented by Cooper Tires, and we're going to fire the day up with the second round of the Indy Pro 2000 Championship presented by Cooper Tires. 17 drivers on the grid, getting set to take off for today, and an absolutely beautiful day, 57 degrees trackside right now. It feels a lot warmer as long as you're in the sun. In the shade, maybe a little different. We're going to get up to somewhere around 70 degrees. Absolutely perfect. And again, we say hello to those of you who are around the racetrack, have come in early to watch some of this action, this Road to Indy action, and of course showcases the drivers, the future stars of the NTT IndyCar Series. The program beginning with USF 2000, going from there to Indy Pro 2000, the cars that are on the grid right now, and of course wrapping up with Indy Lights. That series just one step away from IndyCar. Those drivers getting ready to go. They'll be on track right before the IndyCar main event today, and this is where drivers like Pato O'Ward, Jack Harvey, Renus VK, Felix Rosenquist, the drivers that started in Indy Lights, were able to get this experience here in the tracks of the United States, and then have worked their way into the NTT IndyCar Series. Drivers ready to go here now in Indy Pro, just 2 steps away. And let's have a look at the grid as we get ready to roll. We have 17 drivers set to roll off here today. Starting 17th for Miller Vinatieri Motorsports out of Indiana, it's Jack William Miller, the rookie, in the number 40 machine. Row number 8 on the outside, starting 16th out of Colorado. It's the third-generation driver, Flynn Lazier, in the number 20 for Legacy Autosport. Lazier starting 16th alongside another one of our rookies, last year's F4 champion, Hunter Yaney for Velocity Racing Development in the number 11, the rookie out of Georgia starting in the 15th spot. We'll go now to row number 7 on the outside, a very talented young Irishman. They've been working through some mechanical issues, but he had a great run yesterday before that was thwarted by another issue. I'm talking about James Rowe Jr., the Irishman. In the number 3, the rookie has been great coming out of the gate, expecting a lot out of James here in 2021. Tougher start for the Aussie out of Toowoomba, same hometown as Will Power. Cameron Shields in the number 7 for D-Force Racing, starting back in 13th. A great top 5 run for Cameron yesterday. He'll have to go to work to see if he can't get himself into the top 10. Row 6, the teammates from RP Motorsports USA. On the outside, Anam Ahmed in the number 77, former British Formula 3 champion, the driver out of England. Really had a strong run, one of the movers that was able to get himself up into the top 10 yesterday. He'll start 12th today. And on the inside of that row, starting 11th, a name that we all know, Enzo Fittipaldi in the number 74, the Brazilian who now lives in Miami, Florida, the rookie, starting in the 11th spot. Into the top 10 now on the outside from Pabst Racing, it is Colin Kaminsky out of Illinois in the number 27. He'll start alongside Manuel Suleiman in the 22. Suleiman, a race winner last year at Mid-Ohio. He has moved to Juncos Racing in the number 22, again starting in that 9th position. Row number 4 on the outside, and a very impressive rookie this year, Kiffin Simpson for Juncos Racing, driver to the Cayman Islands in the number 21. He's only going to do a handful of races this year, a partial program ahead of a full season next year. Simpson has been very impressive driving that number 21 machine. Inside of that row, Jacob Abel from Abel Motorsports out of Louisville, Kentucky in the number 51. A good qualifying run for Jacob. He'll move himself from row number 4. Moving to row number 3 now. A driver who finished second yesterday. Watch the white and red, number 42 of Russian driver Artem Petrov. He's going to be pushing to try to work his way back up onto the podium once again, but a great start for he and his debut race with Exclusive Autosport. Driver on the inside of row number 3. This has been an impressive couple of weeks for Wyatt Prokacek. Last year, a rookie in the USF 2000 program, making a jump up this year into the Indy Pro 2000 category. And Prokacek for Jay Howard Driver Development, laying down a good qualifying lap. The number 5 will start, indeed, in the 5th position. Row number 2 on the outside, the winner from yesterday. Let's see what he's able to do here, starting on the outside of row 2. Braden Eves out of New Albany, Ohio, in the Exclusive Autosports Cambridge Global Payments, number 91. Very impressive run for Braden yesterday, coming off that really tough wreck last year at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. His first race back in about 7 months. And Eves able to get the victory. An emotional one for sure for the young American. He'll start the number 91 from P4. Inside of that row, another one of our rookies in this program here was a race winner last year in USF 2000, moving up to Juncos Racing, and that is Reese Gold in the number 55. Engines have been fired down on pit lane, 250 horsepower behind these drivers. Everyone on the Cooper tires and the Tatis PM18 chassis, fantastic race car, and just an excellent platform for these young drivers. 17 drivers on the field. Let's go to the front row. I don't have the number right now, but we got to have it somewhere around, it's double digits for sure, the combined amount of wins for these two drivers here in USF 2000, probably approaching something like 15 or 16 race wins. Hunter McElroy on the outside was the runner-up in the USF 2000 championship back in 2019. McElroy out of Australia in the number 18 machine for Pabst Racing. He's looking for a race win. He capped the season off last year, the final winner at St. Petersburg. He's looking to pick up where he left off. He'll start on the outside of row number 1. And again, a minor issue yesterday where he had wing damage after a pass over in turn number 13, kind of hindered him a little bit. We talk about the fact that these drivers deal with a lot of aero wash. When you're in behind a driver, you lose that air off the front wing, so a lot of mid-corner understeer. Well, when you have the wing damage like he had, it only added on to the problems. McElroy was able to hold on to a 7th place finish. He'll look to see if he can't go P1 today. But the driver out front, his first ever pole position in Indy Pro 2000 competition, and he comes in with a head of steam. Last year's USF 2000 champion, this guy knows how to win races. He knows how to start from pole position. Christian Rasmussen out of Denmark, running with Jay Howard Driver Development, a 116.527 in qualifying will put that rookie driver wearing the number 1, running in the Road to Indy Scholarship colors on the inside of the front row. He will set the pace for the drivers when they come out of turn number 17 and get into that long punch-off zone here. We have about a 500-foot start zone for the drivers. They have to wait for that first RTI post when they come on the front straightaway. At that point, it's in Rasmussen's hands. He can punch off anytime he wants. Everybody else has to wait. That's the benefit of starting on the pole. And I would say this, if Rasmussen can get through turn 1, 2, and 3 cleanly and maybe down to 5 without the big challenge, it may be tough to beat him. He had the fast lap of the race yesterday, had a puncture with contact and had to come into pit lane, so that hindered him a little bit. Didn't have the result that he wanted, but I'll tell you, starting on the pole position, what great retribution would be to be able to come back and get the job done here today in round number 2. We're just getting the season underway. Of course, all these drivers will be heading to St. Petersburg next weekend as we go street course racing in Florida. And again, ready to go here. Rasmussen and McElroy will be on the front row. Gold and Eves on row number 2. Brkacic and Petrov row 3. Drivers now working their way out of turn number 17. Looking good so far. Little stragglers coming up late, getting themselves into position. Rasmussen looking to see if he can't go green. Into the punch-off zone. There's the post to the driver's left, and we're underway. Early punch. Green, green, green. Eves thinking about the inside of McElroy, coming down into the corner, but otherwise people drive it up pretty cleanly now. One driver goes off. That might have been Anam Ahmed, a little overcooking it into 1, pushed wide up the exit. Everyone through 1, 2, and now 3 cleanly thus far. Here comes the big run down the straightaway. Good start here for Rasmussen. Exactly what I said. If he's able to get that lead, he's going to be able to go up front. Big move to the inside. I believe that's Artem Petrov to the inside of Braden Eves. So Petrov goes by as his teammate into turn number 5. Petrov to the inside. Book it. Taking the spot away. Out of 6 and 7, the kink on the straightaway to this 8-9 combination. This downhill, over the curb, right hand, trying to get the car rotated. Single file. Good opening lap thus far for Indy Pro 2000 and Christian Rasmussen. Dominant driver last year in USF 2000. Out to the early lead. This event, a 30-lap race with a 50-minute time limit. Indy Pro 2000 going green to checker yesterday. See if they do it again here today. Battles further back coming through turns number 14 and 15 now. You see the 2 exclusive Autosport drivers. Actually, that's now Jacob Abel in the 51 right behind Braden Eves. Eves was the race winner yesterday, currently runs P4. Right behind him, Jacob Abel. And an interesting thing about both those drivers, for a time, Braden Eves does a lot of karting, as does Jacob Abel, but there's been many times last year before his incident that Jacob Abel was actually the mechanic for Braden Eves when they were doing national karting. So the 2 drivers now run on the racetrack together. Good start for Jacob Abel as well. Had some issues yesterday, but to be able to jump up here to the top 5, excellent run for the Able Motorsports pilot. Good to have him back with us for the season. Wow, some good racing as you see the drivers come out of the corner. Yeah, it's Abel still putting the pressure there. Rasmussen in the lead the first time by was 0.6 of a second. McElroy looks for a recovery here too for P2. Petrov up into 3rd over Eves. Again, Petrov was 2nd in race number 1. Parker Thompson and I talked a bit about it in the pre-show. Number 1, you want to go out and win the race. You want to beat all the other competitors. After that, you really want to beat the guys that are under the tent with you. You want to be the top driver of your team. We got a good battle a little bit further back. Yeah, excellent fight deeper in the field. Number 77 of Anam Ahmed able to get back by, I believe, Hunter Yaney. Had a look to see if he could get through Kiffin Simpson. Reese Gold, tough start for Reese. Started in the 4th position. He's fallen all the way back into 14th. So not the start that Reese Gold wanted. Through Charlotte's Web, turn number 5, and then the exit of 6. One of the things about these second races of the doubleheader, you wonder where everybody is on tire strategy as well, because drivers come in with 5 sessions, practice, 2 qualifying sessions, and the 2 races with only 3 sets of tires. We didn't have a carryover set of tires this weekend, which we normally have. They're allowed to have a set of race tires, used race tires that they normally run in practice. Because it was the opening round of the season, they didn't have a carryover set to use. So interesting that some drivers may be holding back tires. Everybody essentially starting this race off on used tires, at least a set that they would have run a qualifying run on. So we may watch what's going to happen here. This track has been repaved. It is it's very smooth, but still pretty rough on tires. We're talking running in the clockwise direction, a lot of constant radius, long radius right-handers. It really punishes the left front tire. There's Flynn Lazier in the Legacy Autosport number 20 machine. Flynn currently running in that 17th position. Good to have Flynn here on the program. Hunter McElroy is closed up. This thing is not over at all. We're not going to see a runaway here for Christian Rasmussen. Second-year driver Hunter McElroy starting to put the pressure as they come out of turn number 7. They'll work their way down that straightaway over to turn 8 and 9. That's how close the leaders are right there. And I think Artem Petrov closing up as well. Braden Eves actually with the fast lap of the race. 118.592. He was 0.2 quicker than the leader last time by, and he's only 1.1 back. Jacob Abel's not that far back either. This is solid stuff, because I think we are setting up for a battle. Now, Hunter McElroy right there with them. The only issue about hounding a driver that close for the first half of the race without being able to make the pass is that when you are that close, that's when you get the aero wash. That's when you start really punishing your front tires, especially that left front. You've got to kind of peek out. Parker's talked about this a couple times. You've got to peek out a little bit in some of these corners to try to get a little bit of that clean air coming up over top of the wing to get as much downforce as you possibly can. Otherwise, every time you're in there, as you start to turn into the corner, that car's going to wash out on you. You get that understeer, and the car just pushes away, and then you're sliding the tires. When you're sliding the tires, you're punishing the tires. McElroy trying to get close enough to potentially make that lunge down to the inside of turn 5 right there as they come out of Charlotte's Web. Top 4 drivers all now separated by just about a second. It's a gap, a decent gap back to Jacob Abel. That's the next group. So it's Jacob Abel, Wyatt Prokachek, and Colin Kaminsky. That's the next group. Abel in the red 51, Prokachek in the black, blue, and white number 5 for Jay Howard, and Colin Kaminsky in the black and white for Pabst Racing. Pabst with 2 drivers right now in the top 7. McElroy runs P2, Kaminsky P7. They were rookies in the series last year, Pabst Racing, the first time jumping up into the Indy Pro 2000 category. Long-time front runners in USF 2000, multi-time team championship winners, and of course, as we know, had some success over the last couple days in USF 2000. A win in the opening round with Yuvan Sundaramurthy, and a couple of podiums for Josh Pearson as well. There's the gap there between 4th back to 5th. Eves all the way back to Jacob Abel. As they run on the racetrack right now, Braden Eves would maintain the point lead over his teammate by 4. 51 points as they run for Eves, 47 for Artem Petrov, 42 for Rasmussen, and 40 for McElroy. Cameron Shields not having the run that he had yesterday. He's actually down now in the 16th position. The Australian started in 13th and has fallen a couple of spots. Let's see what happens if he's able to gather things back up again. Rasmussen just set fast lap, and there's a bonus point involved in that as well. Early pressure from McElroy has now dissipated a little bit. Half a second or more for Rasmussen up front. There's the lead coming over the rise of 13 over to 14. A pronounced rise in the road as you come through 12 and 13. Oh, someone dropping a wheel further back. I want to say that might have been Enzo Fittipaldi. Either Enzo Fittipaldi or Reese Gold dropping a wheel there coming out of 13 over the rumbles. Car gets light coming over the hill, and that's not where you want to lose grip. Indeed, Christian Rasmussen just laid the fast lap down in the lap by that last lap, 117.411. Rasmussen doing exactly what he did last year. And this is one of the things I was asked a couple of questions while we were here trackside start of the day. What do you think? what's going to happen with Rasmussen starting from pole? Does he have what it takes to win races here? And I said this. I said, the one thing about Christian is he knows how to lead from pole. It's not like he's never been there before. It's not like this is a fresh experience. This guy won a lot of races last year in USF 2000, many of them from pole position. And when you can do that, when you understand how to manage that opening lap and take care of the tires, because really, when it gets close, the only driver who has open track and all that clean air rolling over the wings to take care of the tires is that leader. So the leader has to take full advantage of that, and that's what Rasmussen is doing. He's not running defensive lines. Even when McElroy got close, he didn't run too defensively. Front four drivers pretty evenly split now. Wyatt Prokacek. What a run for Wyatt. Jay Howard driver development, 1st and 6th on the racetrack right now. Solid running. Have a quick look at yesterday's results, and really the big mover yesterday was Anam Ahmed. Started 13th, drove his way up into the top 5. Now there were some issues that dropped other drivers out of the pace, but Anam did a tremendous job working his way forward. His fast lap only about less than, I think, 0.3 of a second off that of Braden Eves. So for a team that has returned after missing last year, RP Motorsport USA, a driver who has never been here and run here in the U.S. and did limited testing on the program, I got to say, pretty darn good run yesterday for Anam Ahmed. And again, he is working his way forward. Started today in the 12th position. Now I'm trying to get himself forward here. Had a couple of spots, but now in 11th. But where he is on points right now would put him, I believe, just outside the top 5. Maybe 6th or 7th in points, which I think, considering the way the weekend started, pretty solid. There's Colin Kaminsky. As we're coming to the first third of the race, Kaminsky running now in the 7th position. Not that far behind Wyatt Prokacek, but Kaminsky a little wide on the exit of 1. Kicking up some dust at the end of the runoff area. Colin Kaminsky in the Slick Locks PM18 for Pabst Racing. Worked his way through USF 2000 into Indy Pro. Had a really strong finish to the season. Was really good at New Jersey Motorsports Park. Coming through 8 and 9. There's the gap between the top 4 drivers. Pretty evenly spaced. Then we got 5th, 6th, and 7th running together. Jacob Abel, Wyatt Prokacek, and Colin Kaminsky. Then look at this gaggle further back. Everybody lined up behind James Rowe. Rowe about a second behind Manuel Suleiman. So the turn 3 motorsport driver, James Rowe, the Irishman, in the number 3, stacking him up behind him. Kiffin Simpson runs 10th. Anam Ahmed in 11th. Hunter Yaney in 12th. 13th, Enzo Fittipaldi. 14th, Reese Gold. 15th, Jack William Miller. That's that group there. And then only about a second back is Cameron Shields. 1.2 seconds now, the advantage for Christian Rasmussen. Oh, we got some moves there. I think they were able to get by Rowe. Bit of a shake-up there. And again, battling it out. 2, 3 wide, coming down now into turn number 1 and 2. Wow, action going. Little mid-corner wiggle there as well for Cameron Shields, but he's trying to fight his way back up. He is right behind Jack William Miller. Shields taking care of those tires, trying to work his way back forward. And I'll tell you, the fight further on back is a good one. I believe Rowe's still with the position. I said it was James Rowe that potentially fell back. It was not. It was actually Kiffin Simpson. Kiffin moving back a little bit. .5 seconds the lead for Christian Rasmussen. And again, so yesterday, the race winner, 2019 USF 2000 champion Braden Eves, leader right now, 2020 champion Christian Rasmussen. And again, for me, that just exemplifies the training that we provide here on the road to Indy. You're able to get the job done. If you're successful in USF 2000, we've set you up to succeed in the next level, Indy Pro. And we've seen that happen as well with drivers moving up from Indy Pro 2000 to Indy Lights. You go back a couple of years ago to 2019, and who were the two dominant drivers in Indy Lights in 2019? Oliver Askew and Rinus VeeKay. Oliver won the championship in USF 2000 in 2017, and then Rinus VeeKay won Indy Pro 2000 in 2018. They both come and essentially grabbed the majority of the victories in 2019. It's all about developing the drivers in the car and out of the car, and it's just it's tremendous to watch what these young drivers are able to do. And again, then when we see them move to the NTT IndyCar Series and succeed, I think we all share some pride here on the road to Indy. Yesterday, for sure, Pato O'Ward, a driver who won almost won the championship in Indy Pro 2000 a couple of years ago, was able to win the title in Indy Lights. This is one of our kids. This is one of our graduates, and to see him on the pole position for today's IndyCar Series race, we're all going to be hoping and that we see some success and a race win at a Pato O'Ward. That first victory for Pato just around the corner. Could be today. Rasmussen, McElrea, Petrov, Eves, and Abel. Top 5 drivers. Makachik runs 6th, Kaminsky 7th, Suleiman 8th, Rowe 9th. Anam Ahmed now up into the 10th spot. Continues to improve his point total. Yeah, as he runs on the racetrack right now, I think that Ahmed would be tied for 7th place in points with Colin Kaminsky. He's been able to work his way forward. We're not done yet. Anam Ahmed in the number 77, now going to work on James Rowe in that number 3. Looking at lap times, Rasmussen using clean air, getting down to a 1:16.842, a half a second faster than McElrea on that last lap. We're not even to the halfway point yet. Number 21, Kiffin Simpson, having some issues. I think he may have been into pit lane and back out because Rasmussen just went by him to put him down another lap. Kiffin went one lap down yesterday as well, but got back out on the racetrack and was able to slot right into the middle of, I believe, Anam Ahmed and Hunter McElrea. Showed good speed there. Just some issues here today for the rookie Simpson. The closest racing, of course, further back. Anam Ahmed now. Ahmed in the number 77 RP Motorsports machine continues to put the pressure here on James Rowe, who runs 9th. See what happens as these drivers settle in for this mid-section. James Rowe driving the Trintec Topcon machine. A couple of sponsors and partners that he's thrilled to have on board and really wanted to put in a good effort for them yesterday. And he had the speed, and I think for Rowe, it'll be his first season here in Indy Pro 2000. I think he's going to be racing for top 5s and maybe podiums by the end of this year. It's a single car team with Turn 3 Motorsport, but we know what they were able to do last year. Right now, trying to hold off Ahmed. Rowe actually 3/10 quicker than Manuel Suleiman last time by. Time starting to come down a little bit. Number of drivers going green with their quickest laps of the session. Artem Petrov, Manuel Suleiman, Hunter Yaney, and Flynn Lazier all turning their fastest laps of the race thus far. As we know, fuel loads getting a little bit lower. Ahmed locking it up, going down into 5. You saw that there. Coming around to the halfway point of a 30-lap race for Indy Pro 2000. Here's the Barber Vintage Museum. A must stop if you're here for the race weekend. Think about the drivers running in this program and what they're gunning for, because obviously huge. Championship scholarship for 2021 increased to $718,000. to move into the Indy Lights presented by Cooper Tires program and an NTT IndyCar test at the end of the season. Top 3 drivers in Indy Lights are getting that test as well, but the champion in Indy Pro 2000, it's a little early, but they're going to get a chance to test an IndyCar at the end of this year, which is absolutely huge. .9 seconds, the lead for Christian Rasmussen. Barber Motorsports Park, notorious as being a tough track to pass on, and for the cars here in Indy Pro 2000, very difficult. You really have to essentially get close enough to the driver in front to put the pressure on to kind of force a mistake, because with these long corners, as I had detailed earlier, a lot of aero wash. When you get that aero wash, you start roughing up the front tires. You'll see drivers, especially coming up through here, turns 15 and 16, maybe trying different angles, diamond the corner a little bit, get that air over the front wing and see if you can't get a better run out of 16 down to 17. That's Jacob Abel still holding off Wyatt Prokachik. And that was James Rowe in front of Anam Ahmed and Enzo Fittipaldi. Great shot of the drivers coming on the downhill, turn 5, left-hand hairpin through turn number 6 and back up the hill. Long run down into turn number 8 and 9. Braden Eves not yet done with Artem Petrov, still within that second. But you look at lap times, and most of the guys up here have kind of stalled where they are. Rasmussen really impressive. 1:16.84 his fast lap. Last lap 1:16.843. Literally a thousandth of a second slower. The consistency for Rasmussen up front, trying to get that first win. And I have no doubt that the race fans are watching the broadcast here on the Road to Indy TV app or IndyPro2000.com or RoadToIndy.tv. They're cheering on their Danish countrymen. Rasmussen doing so well last year, bringing Denmark their first Road to Indy championship and be the first Indy Pro 2000 victory if he's able to bring it home. First win by a scholarship driver here in 2021 as well. Coming out of the gate, I think, obviously, when you're thinking championship, when you're talking about predictions coming into the opening weekend, you look at the returning drivers who have won races: McElroy, Petrov, Eves, all those drivers, and Suleiman as well, of course. All those drivers now, second, third, and fourth. McElroy, Petrov, Eves, Suleiman, eighth. You got to look at the big guns coming up from the next level, because especially when they had the success like Rasmussen did. It wasn't like he got a 1 or 2 wins and was able to do a consistent job to get himself into the championship. He really was the dominant factor last year. I think he won the first 6 or 7 races to start the season. Did have a dip at Indianapolis and Mid-Ohio. Rough weekend in Indianapolis. Drove off at the carousel the first lap in Mid-Ohio, and that huge lead shrunk down to about 3 points. But he was able to show his mettle and turn it back around and get back on a run to win the championship and lock it up at New Jersey Motorsports Park. But for him to be able to come out of the gate like he is right now, and again, remember, Jay Howard Driver Development expanding into Indy Pro 2000 this year with their champion and with Prokachik. I think they've shown very well here today. Rasmussen, no doubt, putting his name into the championship fight. As they run on the racetrack, he would be third in points. As they run here, just past the halfway point, Eves running fourth would have the point lead over his teammate Petrov by 4 markers. And then you got to go 9 back to Rasmussen with 42 points, 11 back to McElroy with 40. And then then we've still got Reese Gold with 30, and then a couple drivers with 28, Colin Kaminsky and Anam Ahmed. That's that fight we're watching there for 5th, 6th, and 7th. 12 laps remaining. Jacob Abel holding the spot. Probably the best we've seen Jacob Abel run in his Road to Indy career. Good opportunity to chat with him as we kind of key on him here. I had a good chance to chat with him earlier this weekend and talking to Jacob about his team. The interesting deal is that as those of you who watched Indy Lights before, you remember Bilardi Auto Racing. Obviously, that team shutting down over the offseason. Tim Neff and TJ Speed buying that inventory, essentially taking over the operation and moving forward with what they'll do in 2022. Many of the staff from Bilardi Auto Racing were then picked up by Able Motorsports to run in Indy Pro 2000. John Bruner, the team manager, longtime team manager at Bilardi Auto Racing, taking over the team manager role at Able Motorsports. Kent Boyer, head engineer with Bilardi Auto Racing, coming over to engineer the car here, this PM18. So many new things. Boyer learning the new car. And as Jacob told me when we were talking, he's learning a whole brand new crew. And I think anybody in motorsports understands that communication between the engineer and the driver and the entire team, that's a really crucial part of success. And for him to come into this new season with brand new surroundings, all new people around him, it's going to take a little time for them to develop that line of communication, that vocabulary that'll allow them to understand each other. And I think to be able to run P5 here right now, this would be a huge success for Jacob Abel. And he's been able to run strong and hold off Wyatt Prokopchik. Still about a 7/10 of a second advantage. That's the cushion. Good battle coming right now through turn number 1. You see it coming there. Back up the hill. I think that's Kaminsky, Suleiman, and Ahmed. Actually, that battle there was, pardon me, let's update it. That was Yaney and Reese Gold and Jack William Miller. Hunter Yaney in the Velocity Racing Development Machine. That's the driver we were following there. You'll see them coming up here now. Boom. Running past you. Right behind them, Cameron Shields. So that trio of drivers running 12th, 13th, and 14th. Hunter Yaney, rookie driver here in the Indy Pro 2000 category. Great to have Velocity Racing Development joining the Road to Indy here in 2021. They have one driver in Indy Pro 2000 in Yaney and one driver in USF 2000 in Eric Evans. Looking forward to seeing them expand their program here with the Road to Indy presented by Cooper Tires. Expect to see at least 2 drivers on each level of that program next year. Dan Mitchell runs a great program. Strong VRD Academy. He's got a lot of great ties with drivers in the American karting scene. A full-length development program from karting all the way through the Road to Indy. That's them again, rolling down through the Alabama roller coaster. You can see that Reese Gold trying to keep up the pressure. Started 4th, fell back early. Race winner last year at Mid-Ohio in USF 2000. Ran with Cape Motorsports. 6 seconds the lead now for Christian Rasmussen out front. He's got 10 laps remaining to try to be yet another race winner. So here's an interesting component and a storyline for this weekend. 6 different pole sitters across our 6 qualifying sessions. So far, we have as well 4 winners. Could we have 6 different winners? That would be very interesting. Obviously, wins yesterday in USF 2000 for Yuvan Sundaramurthy and Prescott Campbell. We had Linus Lundqvist win in Indy Lights, Braden Eves win in Indy Pro 2000. Right now, we're on the cusp of seeing Christian Rasmussen being our 5th different winner on the weekend to split up Indy Pro 2000. And we'll see what happens in Indy Lights this afternoon when David Malukas will start on the pole position for HMD Motorsports. You know, David, after the incident between he and Kyle Kirkwood at the start of the race for Indy Lights, you know that Malukas will be extra motivated to try to get that first career Indy Lights victory. Rasmussen pulling out that lead of about 6 seconds, but he's backed things down to a nice 117.3 pace, about 7 or 8 tenths of a second off his fast lap. But he's got that gap. Now you can kind of just manage it a little bit, take care of the tires a little more. Got that clean air. McElrea as well, looking to try to get to the podium after yesterday's disappointment. He's got 3 seconds on Artem Petrov, who's got a second and a bit on his teammate Braden Eves. Still, Eves running where he is. After that win yesterday, you had to believe in the back of his mind. He was saying, I just want to get through the opening lap cleanly. If I slot into fourth, I can go to work. But, man, points is what I need. The win was a great start. Points here is strong and good opportunity for him to get out of this race with the point lead. Now, he is, however, closing back up. Remember, I said it was 1.3 seconds. As I look back up, it was 4/10 at the line. And it's really 5 car lengths coming out of turn number 7. So Braden Eves closing back up on Artem Petrov. And when it's your teammate, really, pressure, see if you can't force a mistake. I don't see Eves, a veteran driver here on the road to Indy, making any kind of low percentage opportunity move. I just don't think he's going to do it, especially knowing he has the point lead. Championships aren't won normally on a mid-race, high-risk, low percentage pass. I really think it's more of a deal where you're trying to get a consistent set of results, a body of work throughout the entire season. It's the DNF that hurts every one of these drivers. You know, essentially a DNF yesterday for Christian Rasmussen with the issue he had. He was a lap back after the incident, ends up finishing 13th. Not a lot of points, ends up leaving with 9 points, whereas Eves with 32 points as the race winner. If you're smart and you have that run of third place finishes, you're probably going to win the championship, even though you weren't able to get a victory. Inam Ahmed and Enzo Fittipaldi were able to get by James Rowe mid-race. Leaders coming out of turn number 7. You see the 2 exclusive Autosport cars there streaming by. Next drivers you're going to see is that trio. There's the 2 exclusive Autosport drivers, super quick. Looking back at lap times, last time by, both Petrov and Eves almost identical, 1:17.2s. Eves literally 100th of a second slower, but the gap just a half a second now between those 2 exclusive Autosport drivers running 3rd and 4th. They locked out the front row in qualifying for round number 1 and went 1-2 in the race, 3-4 in race number 2, and I got to think that the team at exclusive will be happy with that. Potentially able to leave this event, run a 1-2 in the championship. Something happened there for Rasmussen, folks. He did a bad lap, the last lap. The gap now down to a second. Not sure what happened to Rasmussen. I did not see it, but all of a sudden McElrea is a lot closer, up to a second now. Indeed, an issue for Rasmussen. He got back down to a 1:16.6, or rather a 1:17.3, 16.6 his fast lap. Got back to a 1:17.3, so able to get back to the pace again. But that last lap was a 1:25, 8 seconds. So that big lead that he had shrinking down after an issue. So what happened to Rasmussen? Trying to watch the monitor here, of course, to call off the TV, but you're also trying to watch live timing. Again, drivers exiting out of turn number 9 through this quick 10 and 11 complex. And that was that changed the landscape for sure. We'll have to talk to Christian Rasmussen when it's all said and done. See if he's able to stretch that gap back out. Again, I think he does. Let's see the lap back down to a 1:17.3. Again, 7/10 quicker than McElrea. Still really good laps. This time a 17 flat for Rasmussen, 17.3 for McElrea. So stretches it back out to 1.4 seconds. But I got to tell you, whatever happened on the racetrack, you know it was a wake-up call. Rasmussen, again, using that clean air. They've got things knocked down. He was fast lap of the race yesterday, even though he finished a lap down. Rasmussen with the quickest lap. And that was on lap 22 of a 25 lapper. So late in the run, he was able to go quicker. 5 laps to go here for Indy Pro 2000. We'll wrap up the Road to Indy presented by Cooper Tires segment of this weekend's events later on today. 12:20, green flag for the Indy Lights Grand Prix of Alabama presented by Cooper Tires. We'll see the top rung back at it again. Kiffin Simpson just laying down a good lap. Again, an issue for Kiffin, a 1:17.263. Actually, no. Last lap before that, a 1:16.9. So Kiffin Simpson, rookie for Juncos Racing, has the speed, had an issue and went down a lap, or a couple laps actually. Whew, impressive. Definitely a driver we're going to watch to potentially go for the championship next year here in Indy Pro. He's doing, I think, 5 races this year for Kiffin Simpson. Remember that name. Starring out of the gate already. So whatever it was, a little scare for Christian Rasmussen, but as of now, he's been able to get back and no issues. Rasmussen, McElray, Petrov, Eves, and Abel. So getting an update now here from race control. Essentially what happened with Christian Rasmussen there, we got 3 laps left, but let's update you on Rasmussen. A mid-race penalty on Christian Rasmussen for moving in reaction. So I'm assuming that he moved for a block in reaction to a move from Hunter McElroy. 5-second mid-race penalty, so he literally had to slow down 5 seconds and give back that advantage. So that's what that was. We'll get more updates later on. But, yeah, mid-race penalty for Rasmussen. So it wasn't an issue, did not make a mistake, but he did slow down. And it was, to be honest, 8 seconds slower that lap was, but then able to stretch back out to a 3.1 second lead. So, again, moving in reaction, and that was the penalty. Hold on, I'm trying to get an update from race control. Getting an update, the potential that may be a post-race penalty not served in the race. This could be interesting here. Trying to get the update for you. Laps winding down. The reason why I say that is right now Rasmussen just 3.8. So indeed, it sounds like there's going to be a 5-second penalty on Christian Rasmussen. He's only 3.8 seconds up the road with 2 laps to go. He needs to get a 5-second gap if he wants to hold this win over Hunter McElroy. Getting another update from Steve Wittick saying that he spun in turn number 5. I didn't see that. So the issue was okay, so the issue here, this is getting big. Where are we here on the lead for Rasmussen? Across the line, let's have it here for the final circuit. So Steve Wittick from Trackside Online, give me the update. I missed it when I was watching live timing. He spun in turn number 5. That was the 8-second loss. 3.5 seconds back right now. A 5-second post-race penalty coming for Rasmussen for defending the move in reaction to a pass attempt. Right now, Hunter McElroy could grab a victory here. 3.5 seconds. McElroy up on the wheel. He was 0.3 quicker last time by. He's got to win by 5 seconds. I don't think he's going to get it done. It's 3.5 seconds here. McElroy turns one of his best laps, a 1:17.146. So a spin that cost him 8 seconds in turn number 5 and a post-race penalty that's coming for Christian Rasmussen. He may not get this win. Hunter McElroy could get moved for his second career Indy Pro 2000 race win. Down the back straightaway they come. I just don't think McElroy's going to have to make a mistake here. He just needs to put in a good low 117 lap, and he's going to be fine. Out of the final corner, checker flag going to fly. Rasmussen does not have his hand in the air at all because I think he knows it's coming. McElroy across the line. He's pumping his fist. McElroy's going to win. What a turn of events for Indy Pro 2000. And McElroy turns his fastest lap of the race on the last lap, a 1:17.101. The margin of victory, 3.5 seconds. So the big lead that Rasmussen had that would have negated the 5-second penalty goes awry as he has an issue in turn number 5 and a spin. Unbelievable. The storyline for Indy Pro 2000. Rasmussen trying to win from pole. We still have our 5th different winner. And check this out. Luckily, by 9/10 of a second, Rasmussen holding off Artem Petrov. He literally could have dropped to 3rd. Hunter McElroy is going to get the win. Christian Rasmussen in 2nd. Artem Petrov 3rd. Braden Eves in 4th spot. Jacob Abel in 5th. 6th, Wyatt Prokacek. 7th, Colin Kaminsky. 8th, Manuel Suleiman. 9th, Anam Ahmed, again working his way forward. And 10th, Enzo Fittipaldi. So the championship now. 51 points for Braden Eves. He is the championship leader, leaving, unofficially, of course, leaving Barber Motorsports Park. His teammate Artem Petrov behind by 4 markers. McElroy just 2 points behind Petrov and 6 now behind Eves. Rasmussen moves to 37 points, so he'll still be, I believe, indeed, in P4 in the points. But that's going to be a tough pill to swallow for Christian Rasmussen, no doubt about it. McElroy, though, with the win. Rasmussen 2nd, Petrov 3rd, Braden Eves, your new point leader, in the 4th spot, and Jacob Abel. Tremendous run holding off Wyatt Prokacek and Colin Kaminsky for that entire run. Rick, I'm done. I'm going to head down to Victory Lane, Tatis Victory Lane, as Hunter McElroy is going to get awarded his 2nd career Indy Pro 2000 victory.
Wow, that was exciting. And Rob staying on top of the action, as he always does, that and keeping us informed as to what was happening. What a race. Congratulations. And at the same time, you got to feel bad for Christian Rasmussen because, hey, that he was doing it. And as Rob pointed out, he turned the fastest lap of the race on his last lap. And so he has it. I can't help but feel a little bit of angst for the guy. But hey, that doesn't take away from what Hunter McElroy really did. He drove the wheels off that car, and congratulations, Hunter. Well, that is the first race of the day. And if the rest of the day goes like that, ladies and gentlemen, we are in for a treat. It is, just to bring you quick, we're going to go down to Rob in just a few minutes for the awards in Victory Lane. But just to let you know what's coming up next, we're going to see the Stars of the Weekend, the IndyCar Series. Their warm-up is going to be coming out in about 35 minutes. That'll be followed by the Porsche Sprint Challenge race number 2. That was exciting yesterday. The Indy Lights race is scheduled for 12:20. And that's race number 2 of that series. And then the big event of the day, the Stars and Cars of the IndyCar Series. That is at green flag set for 2:42. It's a 90-lap race, the first. And you'll be able to say you were there to kick off the 2001 NTT IndyCar Series season. The Honda Grand Prix of Alabama, presented by AmFirst. What a
Your uncle, I want you to know that on the road to life, there will be rough spots, and they will chew up your tires. I recently took a road trip to Greensville to attend a chili cook-off. Rough roads all the way down. I drove there on these Cooper Discoverer and Duramax tires. You know, they're made with the durability of off-road tires, but for on-road driving. Without them, we might never know the winning bean-to-meat ratio of a good chili. And those are the things in life, my friend, worth driving towards. So go with the Coopers. Cooper! I'm hungry now.
At Topcon, we know a thing or two about a smooth surface. Roads and highways, piece of cake. Airports, let's just say it'll be the smoothest landing you've ever had. But what about when you want to go fast? Real fast? No, faster. We've helped cars go faster than they've ever gone before. Broken a few lap records along the way. Want the best paving performance? Go to the source. Topcon, always one step ahead.
Of the road, or fifth different winner rather, of the road to Indy so far. Still an Indy Lights race to come. Let's start with the driver coming home in third spot today in Indy Pro 2000 from Exclusive Autosports, Artem Petrov. P3 will leave Barber Motorsports Park sitting second in points. Has a good weekend for Exclusive Autosport. Finishing in the second spot, that penalty for the block being issued after the race. He ends up dropping to second, but otherwise a tremendous run. Christian Rasmussen finishing in second. For Jay Howard Driver Development, you know he has asserted himself as the driver to win this championship. A tremendous run there. That penalty, though, tough when coupled with the spin in turn 5. He will come back strong. But driver scoring the victory here today, put the pressure on all race long, and that's what it takes to get a pass done here at this racetrack. You got to keep the pressure up. He gets it done. Another victory here at Barber for Pabst Racing. The winner, Hunter McElray. McElray put the pressure on early, and again, a penalty for defensive moves after in reaction to a pass. McElray getting that victory, capped off the 2020 season with a win at the Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. We go back there next weekend, which makes things very interesting. McElray, he knows he's good there, and he'll try to work his way back up into the championship. Once we get the photos we need from the photographers, we're good to go. Guys, you can put those trophies down. Champagne is yours. The victors enjoying the spoils. And yeah, they're going after McElray there. Congratulations, drivers. Again, what a tremendous run. We go to St. Petersburg with these drivers here next week, but I'll tell you, tremendous drivers, the future stars of the NTT Indy Car Series on display for you here with the road to Indy. Again, Artem Petrov finishing in third, Christian Rasmussen in second, and his second career win in Indy Pro 2000, Hunter McElray for Pabst Racing on top of the box here today.
Karting and motorsport enthusiasts, Lucas Oil School of Racing is America's #1 Formula Car race school. Enjoy modern paddle shifters, pit speed limiter, and onboard video along with integrated data systems. Get started today with our 2-day basic or advanced course. Lucas Oil School of Racing is the official school of the road to Indy. We can also qualify you for your SCCA license. Get started today by visiting us at www.lucasraceschool.com.
With over 40 years in business, High Tide Boat Lifts is committed to elevating your craft. Whether you own a personal watercraft or a large yacht, we can design and create the perfect lift for your needs. At High Tide Boat Lifts, we understand that you've worked hard to get to a successful place in life. We'll ensure you have a hassle-free experience, maximizing the time you spend on your boat with family and friends, and supporting your dreams out on the open water.
Hey, your Uncle Cooper here. Once upon a time, there was a girl named Goldie, my niece, your cousin, and Goldie didn't know which tires were right for her. The first ones were too much tire, and then the next ones were not enough tire. Anyway, long story short, Goldie found the Coopers, and they were just right. What a happy, practical ending. Go to sleep. I love you. Go with the Coopers. Cooper!
At Topcon, we know a thing or two about a smooth surface. Roads and highways, piece of cake. Airports, let's just say it'll be the smoothest landing you've ever had. But what about when you want to go fast? Real fast? No, faster. We've helped cars go faster than they've ever gone before. Broken a few lap records along the way. Want the best paving performance? Go to the source. Topcon, always one step ahead.
With over 40 years in business, High Tide Boat Lifts is committed to elevating your craft. Whether you own a personal watercraft or a large yacht, we can design and create the perfect lift for your needs. At High Tide Boat Lifts, we understand that you've worked hard to get to a successful place in life. We'll ensure you have a hassle-free experience, maximizing the time you spend on your boat with family and friends, and supporting your dreams out on the open water.
Welcome, race fans, to Road to Indy TV Live. We are trackside here in Barber Motorsports Park with Race 2 winner in Indy Pro 2000, Hunter McElrea. Hunter, you don't get gifts often in racing, but when they do come, they are very sweet. Describe to me what happened. Obviously, you were sitting a very comfortable second, dominant race.
I feel like I'm killing Christmas right now. I was second and started the race I could pace. Kind of holding me up actually. Like the first 5 laps, obviously it was a bit lower in pressure.
Yep.
And then he pulled the gap, and we were gone. So I was kind of just by myself, and I kind of accepted second. I wasn't taking any of the race. I was kind of just driving to the number. And then I came out of turn 5 one lap, and he's like stopped in the middle of the road. I had a huge run on him, obviously, because he was stopped. He moved obviously 4 or 5 times, or a lot of. He threw a pretty big block, and obviously it was enough to get him a penalty. And I actually, the next lap, I dirt on my tires and actually went wide and lost like a second. So, yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was pretty confident he was going to get a penalty because, the blocking rules are pretty black and white. And
For sure.
You got to stick to them. So, obviously, I'm sure for him it was kind of a heat of the moment thing. And, in a way, I feel for him. Obviously, I'm happy I won. So, that's the end of the day. That's all that matters. But, Christian's a fast driver. I've raced him a lot in USF 2000. And, we're going to race hard all year. So, I'm sure he's upset. I would be. But, in this game, it's all about taking what you can get. And today it was good enough for a win. So
exactly. A win tastes all the sweet. I'm proud of the Road to Indy for making the call right away, too, so you could at least celebrate with your team.
I'm proud.
No, but at least you got to celebrate, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the times, those after post-race calls, you do the podium, you're in second, then they have to jumble the trophies around.
I mean, look, Johnny does a really good job of it, and he makes it pretty clear that the calls either get done on the race, unless it's like blatant, they won't really get called afterwards. So, it's the rules are the rules, right? I mean,
well, and let's get into that. So, a blocking rule for the fans at home. Essentially, with the Road to Indy, we are a reactionary move is considered blocking is what gets a penalty. So, in high-speed chess, if you make the move first to the inside of the track, before the car behind you makes that move, you're pretty well locked down there if the car behind you stays in the clean air on the outside. If that car comes back over, that's reactionary. He's moving over to defend. and that's what gets you the penalty. So describe to us, I unfortunately didn't see it, nor did I think a lot of the cameras see it. How many moves did Christian make?
I mean, it's hard to say exactly, but more than one, clearly. I
Okay.
mean, it was like, I was closing on him super fast, and I kind of moved this way, he moved that way, I kind of jinked that way, he jinked that way, and then there was a kind of car width gap, and I had a run, and then he closed it. So obviously, you know, when you commit to a line, you got to hold it, and then, yeah, it's the rules, unfortunately. I mean,
well, you know what? Rules are rules.
Yeah.
And I'm the first one to say it.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that they made the call early.
Me
They
too.
made the call quick. You knew it was very interesting the last 5 laps because you knew that they had a 5-second
Yeah.
penalty. And you were on that verge, you know, for a couple laps you were in the high 2s. It was
Yeah.
like 3.5 there with 2 laps to go.
I mean, look, the last thing you want to do is push too hard and then, like, you
Make
know,
a mistake.
make a mistake. And
Yeah.
I actually made a mistake after that. I got on the radio and, you know, reported obviously what happened, and emotions are high, and then, you know, I got a little bit on the dirt and I lost like 1.5 seconds. So I was like, okay, I can't do this again. You know,
For sure.
I got away with that, and then, you know, settled back into a rhythm. And then look, if I got to finish 4.9 seconds to win, I'm going to take as least risk possible in this circumstance. So, yeah, I mean, it was, it's a weird way to win, but like I said,
Wins
I
are
mean,
wins.
wins are wins. So, you know, everyone wants to pole fastest lap and all that, but, you know, I'll take this win, and we're all in St. Pete, where I've obviously won last year, and I know I have a strong car. So, yeah, taking this momentum, and obviously it's really good for the championship too. So, I'm happy.
No, that's awesome, Hunter. One thing I wanted to ask, because I don't know how much they were communicating with you, did you realize that Christian set the fastest lap of the race, like 3 laps to go? Were they telling you what the target was?
Yeah, I mean, I had an idea, and
You can see it,
you
obviously.
can see,
Yep.
and I kind of knew that I was safe if I just hit a certain number, so I was just driving to that number. Just, you know, every lap I was just doing low 17s, just chilling. So if there's anything I learnt probably over the years, it's, you know, sometimes I push a little hard, and I'd rather drive maybe 95% and still get this result than kind of 101, and then, you know, you're not bringing this home. So look, it was close, definitely. It was on my mind, and
Right.
I was kind of trying to keep as calm as possible, because it's easy to actually get really uptight, and then,
Make
you
a
know,
mistake.
stuff happens. So yeah, it's an interesting way, but like I said, I'm just really, really wrapped because stuff like this doesn't happen too often.
Well, and then not only that, I have to say, you've done a great job with Paps Racing. When we watched the spring training, it wasn't like you guys were at the front. You were kind of on the outskirts of that top 5. I mean, to come away here, you battled for a win yesterday, and then to come away with the win today, you've done a great job with that team. Second year, there's some continuity there. Describe to me, now that you've got the first race over with, this was kind of the unknown. You've won at St. Pete before. You know the track well. What does the rest of the championship look like for Hunter McElroy?
I mean, look, at spring training, we were like not outside the top 5, like fourth all the time. So we were strong, like, and it was close. And at spring training, everyone's on different tires and things like that. But I knew we had a good package. I mean, the car felt good. And the biggest thing that we've got on top of is the qualifying package. I mean, a lot of time last year we were fast in practice in the race, but we'd always kind of be 4th, 5th, you know, second and 3rd row in quali, and then having to work through is hard with how much dirty air there is. So qualifying 3rd and 2nd, you know, it's better. Obviously, we want more, but the car's been really good in quali trim, and then obviously in the balance is good. So, you know, we've been working hard. Obviously, I've been with these guys for 3 years, so we have a really good chemistry, and we keep clicking away at it. So, you know, win number 2 of my Indy Pro, I guess, is win number 1 of the year, and hopefully many more. But at the end of the day, all I want is the championship, and I think we're in a good position to do that. You know, first time at this track. Obviously, the rest of the year is tracks that I've been to. So I'm excited, but it's going to be super tough. I mean, I think this year the field is so close.
Yeah.
You know, like
the depth
last year.
of the field.
Last year when we were racing, it was kind of, there was 7. It was no doubt it was competitive. It's always competitive, but there was kind of like 7 or 8. Whereas this year, there's so many. There's like 12, and I think I looked at the times in qualifying or one of the practices. It was like 4/10. Less than 4/10 was like 1st to 12th.
Yeah.
So if you're having a bad day, it's going to be a big swing. So I think, you know, for me, I'm happy, and just keep consistently at the front, and we'll see how we end up.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. McElroy going to keep it consistent, but he's got his eye on the championship. Hunter, thank you for coming on with me. Congratulations on Race 2 win. And coming up at 12:20 Central, we have Indy Lights Race 2 action. For our American viewers, you can switch over to Peacock TV Premium. And for our Canadian viewers, Rev TV. For any international viewers other than that, you can stay right here on the Road to Indy TV live app.